This is a download from BBC Learning English. For terms of use, go to bbclearningenglish.com.
bbclearningenglish.com.
Hello, I'm Callum Robertson, and with me today for 6 Minute English is Jackie Dalton. Hello, Jackie.
Hello, Callum.
Today we're going to be looking at the topic of the cost of living. What do we mean by that expression, the cost of living?
Well, we use it to talk about our everyday expenditure. So what it costs us to live our day-to-day lives. The cost of food, accommodation, fuel, and so on.
Do you have any idea what you spend on these things? Do you know how much it costs to live Jackie Dalton's life?
I have no idea whatsoever, actually. I just shut my eyes and hand over my credit card and hope for the best. How about you, Callum?
Well, yes, I figure out my monthly expenses, and when I get paid, I put that money into a bank account, and that's only used for those regular bills. Any money I have left over goes towards savings or the occasional luxury.
Well, that sounds very organised, Callum.
I suppose it is really, but if I didn't budget like that, I think I'd end up spending all my money each month. Now, you'll notice I used the verb to budget there. Could you tell us a bit more about this word, Jackie?
Yes, to budget means to plan your finances in the way you described, so that you know you can afford the necessities. And there's also a noun, a budget. You can talk about your weekly or monthly budget, which is the amount of money you set aside to spend on particular things.
Yeah, so for example, I have a monthly food budget. Now, we're talking about this topic because there was a recent report which set out how much, in terms of money, was the minimum that someone needed to earn each year to have an acceptable standard of living. And that's my question for you today, Jackie. According to this report, which we'll hear more of in a minute, how much do you think was suggested as being the minimum amount a single man needs for an acceptable standard of life in Great Britain? Is it A, £11,200, B, £13,400, or C, £15,600?
Well, I think life in the UK has got quite expensive, so I'm going to go for the highest figure, 15,600.
OK, well, we'll see if you're right at the end of the programme. Now, this research was carried out by an organisation called the Joseph Rowntree Foundation, and here's their policy advisor, Donald Hirsch, describing the project.
Well, this was very detailed research in which a number of groups of ordinary people had long discussions about what is actually an essential item, what really needs to go into a household budget to achieve a minimum acceptable standard of living. And they thought long and hard about what things are sort of luxuries, things we might want, and what things people really would need to have. And this includes not just basics like food and shelter, but also things which allow people to participate in society.
So they wanted to find out not how much was the absolute minimum you could live on, but how much you needed to be able to afford to live and also be involved in a social life.
They examined a wide range of possible expenditures in everyday life and decided whether each item or service was essential or a luxury.
It was done by groups of ordinary people who thought long and hard about household budgets. Jackie, to think long and hard about something.
Yes, this is a good expression, and it's fairly simple to understand. To think long and hard about something means to think very carefully about it. And what's important to remember with this phrase is that it's a fixed expression. So you think long and hard about something. You can't say to think hard and long about something. That sounds funny.
bbclearningenglish.com.
Now, we've just got time to have a look at some of the items which they discussed, these groups, about whether they were essential or not essential for everyday life. How about, what do you think they thought about mobile phones? Mobile phones.
I would like to think they're not essential for everyday life.
Could you live without yours?
No.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Mobile phones were regarded as being something that was essential for everyday life. Television and a DVD player?
I would say yes. If you want to be in tune with what's going on in your culture, they are useful to have.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. That was a thought that everybody, needed to have a television and DVD player these days. Access to the internet.
Yes, I would say so. I think that's as important as having a television.
Well, they said no, this survey. They said no at home, because people can still access the internet if they want to at an internet cafe or at a library for free in many cases. And what about a holiday? Having a holiday?
Oh, they're essential, but it's probably a luxury, isn't it?
Well, it was regarded as being essential. A 1-week budget holiday in the United Kingdom each year was something that was regarded as being essential. Well, that is just about all we have time for today. Before we go, the answer to the question, how much money is needed to pay for all these essential things? And it was £13,400. Now, you said 15,600, Jackie. Not as much as that, but unfortunately you got the answer wrong again. Oh dear, well, never mind about that. Join us again for more 6-Minute English soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
bbclearningenglish.com